we don't even have a website to start with. So you have, before even you start a campaign, you have to check where PR and marketing space for close to 10 years. I have also won the top. Let's say start with what is working first and put more effort in it because it's working and you've not just put budget in it. So
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Youth Mentors and VC's episode again. I'm really grateful, guys, for all the love and support that you guys are showing us. The questions, the feedbacks, the comments, all the love. I mean, you're taking it all in. I think I'm overwhelmed with love. You try and find salt for me, but I'm still enjoying the love. So don't stop. Today we have a wonderful guest. We've been following her for the longest time. I think she was busy for us, but she's now here for us. So I got you guys. I got you guys. Got you covered. So before we start, I want to thank my sponsors. I want to mention them before we begin. Big brands that are taking the African SME space. First of all, is Rico Amor. Rico Amor. They deal with plant-based coconut yogurt made in Watamu. For those who are lactose intolerant, this is your plug actually to go and get the yogurt. For those who don't consume dairy, we got a solution for you from Rico Amor. Also, our brand partner called Allo.co. They deal with women fashion. Actually, for these ladies who love luxury brands, this is your way to go. And also, we have a school in Kenya called Rufina School that we support with donations and charity for the children living in the slum areas. So we're gonna put a picture so that you guys, for those who love giving, to go and support this school because we believe giving is receiving. Anyway, now we are here on the best parts. What I've been waiting for, the way you guys have been waiting for at home. It is now finally here. It is time. So, without further ado, I want to introduce my guest. Guys, best believe she's very gorgeous, even before she says a word. You guys just know you are ready for enjoyment, full package. All right, Grace, welcome to Youth Mentors and VCs. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? That was a quite enticing introduction.
I know. Even people won't see me while I'm saying that introduction because it will just be pictures passing by, pictures by brands. So they'll hear the madness from the background. How is your day?
My day is fine. Just that being a Friday, ooh, we can't wait for the day to end.
Because in the evening is party after party.
I've not said anything. You're the one who said.
I mean, when you mention Friday, what else do we expect? It's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday. Friday is the end of the whole week. So we need a breather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful for you just giving us your time. I know you're a very busy person, and we don't take that for granted. And I believe this is going to be worth it. The gems that you're about to bring here, I don't think there's anyone who's about to bring game that is about to be brought on this podcast. All right, maybe you can just introduce yourself and tell people what you do.
Okay, my name is Grace Gikonyo. I'm the founder and managing director at Maynet PR and marketing agency. I am also a co-author of a just recently launched book called How We Rise and Thrive, together with 12 other women co-authors. I'm also very big on MSMEs. I feel it's an overlooked group of organizations. Most people look at where the money is, but they don't look at the people who need the service and creating that impact for them. So I'm very big on MSMEs and also the youth. I'm personally a youth mentor, so it's such a great honor to be part of youth mentors and VCs, because mentorship is one of the key things that have led me to be who I am right now. And I give back to the society as well by mentoring people. Right now, I have 3 mentees whom I mentored in November to December, and they'll be having the book as well, just to make sure that they're able to understand how to go about life. Mentorship never stops. The minute the mentorship program stops, it continues. And that's why even when I do the strategies for MSMEs, I train as well the CEOs, the founders, because you find these are the people who do it themselves. I have been in the Digitally Fit PR Practitioner of the Year in 2022. I have to think through because no, it's 2025. So in 2023, I won the top digitally fit PR practitioner. And this is because PR is evolving. Initially, it was more traditional, but right now you have to pick the online bits of PR. Digital is becoming indispensable. So you have to embrace it even in PR. And that's something I'm very big on, and hence the award. So here I am.
Congratulations. I mean, youth mentor is only for people with recognition. No recognition, no youth mentors for you. I beg, just continue. Let's speak about the book. Let's speak about the book. What inspired you to to even write this book and co-author with your fellow entrepreneur? And I hope you will also tell them, yeah, to come and give mentorship. Yeah,
Okay.
you don't charge; it's free.
It's not, it's, well, we can talk about that. Well,
Mm.
the book, it's called How We Rise and Thrive. It's a book featuring careers of 13 women, I included. So why I felt the need to talk about my story, which I addressed it as the journey of a favored fighter, is because the society has deemed us to be a certain way. You have to be an A student, you have to go to national schools. Once you've completed campus, you have to be in certain corporations, you have to earn a certain amount. There's a way that as I don't know how to call it, but society has just made the curve to be the same for everyone. But I wasn't like that. So for me, my life story started from conception. I was an oops baby, and being an oops baby as well, my mom was going through high blood pressure at that point because their marriage was rocky. And so she didn't think she'd be able to carry the pregnancy to term. So there was that element of abortion coming in, but she decided to go through with it. During birth, it was also complicated. So there was that thought of either the child can survive or the mother can survive, or both die. So everyone was praying for the mother to survive because they can always get another child. But I was born, and I was born on 1st May, which is a Labor Day. And for me, my life story has always been about fighting. I wasn't an A student, I was an average student. And I fought my way into becoming the very best that I could ever be, in terms of, even if it's in that grade of getting a B. And I went to a national school, and going to a national school, I was able to be exposed to a lot. I worked really hard, and my passion started when I was in class 6. A teacher had identified identified my voice in terms of when I was reading passages, and told me, you can be a great journalist. So the same was passed in high school, where I practiced journalism in the journalism club. I was member of debate club. I tried to be as much as possible involved in voice related clubs. And the English teacher saw the need to talk to me about pursuing a career in PR. But at that point, PR was not known, because even foreigners were the ones being employed in organizations to work. So that's when she told me to pursue it, but I didn't look at it as something that I wanted. And in campus, I went to Daystar University, which is the best in terms of media. But when I was in that's when I realized I don't like media. I prefer PR, because media there, we were being taught about the off-screen and on-screen. I didn't like off-screen. I wanted to be on screen. So I felt PR classes are better in terms of writing. I liked the idea of storytelling, the authenticity, and that's why I stuck with it and did two courses at the same time. So I did electronic media and PR. And my life in terms of career has always been MSMEs. I'm very passionate about seeing a brand grow from scratch to becoming something that is admirable. So that has always been in me. And that's why I decided to tell my story, because I felt it's different. Many people would want the tier 1A student to go to the University of Nairobi and be employed by the tier 1 companies. But my story is very different. And I believe that this has always been my purpose. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Nairobi University was just chilling, but it's fine.
Yeah, but it's considered the others, even if we pay twice, thrice, or 5 times what your N pays, they're not
Mm.
considered that good yet. It's a private university. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, mm.
Okay. Yeah. I was also a Distarian. I don't know what happens with change of career.
Oh,
Yeah. Nairobi
yay.
campus.
Woo, I feel more comfortable now.
Yeah. So it's a good thing. Also, for me, I was in international relations and security studies, but I just realized that I'm a business person. For international relationship, I just love the traveling part, and I think I could do it somewhere else. Yeah. All right. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. Your testimony is amazing. I've never heard of a oops baby, but I think we'll
You've
have
never.
another podcast for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So the journey. Let's speak about the journey behind Maynet PR and marketing. What
Mhm.
inspired you to start Maynet, and how has the journey been so far, empowering MSMEs?
Okay. So I'd say Maynet, the name Maynet came later, but practicing PR and marketing, I was employed, but as I was also doing it as a side hustle. And I always say, even in employment, if you're very good at what you do, those people who've employed you have other side hustles and they'll employ you to do the same. So that's what was happening, basically. I started doing PR and marketing consulting when I was still employed a while ago. Then I felt PR and marketing is being employed wasn't making sense for me. So let me give you a sneak bit. I was employed, whew, I was employed from 2015 or thereabout. And I didn't start as PR and marketing. I started in as a receptionist. Then I grew to become PR and marketing executive, but I started in a company that wasn't able to train me. So I was a PR and marketing executive, but dealing with bulk SMS, social media, and being a receptionist at the same time. And that's where I reached out to mentors on LinkedIn. I talked to people to train me, and people were able to be, even to date, I still talk to my mentors. They were able to walk the journey with me, train me, and help me understand what PR really entails, PR and marketing. And thereafter, I went to an agency, and this is where I learned three-quarters of what I know in PR. So when I was in the PR agency, we had a client that was a very, those clients who you don't understand what they want. They're just always bothering you, but you don't know what they want. So I went to a meeting with them when I was still a junior account executive, and I realized they don't really need the PR. They don't want the press releases, the media interviews, the mentions. They want something ROI, like the return on investment has to be on leads generated and all. And that's when I introduced marketing in the agency. And I ran with it and became an account manager almost instantaneously. So, of course, with that, it helped open doors for me. And thereafter, I was able to get a role in Gigi when Gigi was just buying OLX. And that's where I was also able to implement the PR and marketing from scratch. I think that's where I was able to understand better how to become a leader, how to create a team, how to manage a team, how to do everything and anything, because I was doing influencer marketing, I was doing social media, I was doing PR and marketing as a whole before I created a team. So of course, with that, that's why I started my marketing and PR consultancy. I was doing a lot for people in terms of branding, in terms of consulting when it comes to the brand visibility. So most of the people I helped were MSMEs. And I loved seeing a small company starting from nowhere, not even understanding where to go about, and just becoming bigger in the process. And by the time they grow bigger, you don't even understand what to do with them. It's just like a child and how they grow. So when I was poached by Twiva, I think everyone thought that was the right time for me to start my agency, but it was still running on the side. So Twiva was an influencer marketing agency when I joined. And that's where I realized the power that I have within me. Because in Twiva, we were getting a lot of requests for proposal from MSMEs to do a wholesome PR and marketing campaign, yet we were just influencer marketing. So I was involved a lot in terms of creating budgets. I was involved sometimes in consulting, and it was a hustle because you're employed to work for the company and help it grow, but you're also involved in other MSMEs, and that's where I saw the need of starting my own. I had been informed by other people of my potential. And it was at that point that, you just feel that calling within you. God aligns people in your direction, because I met someone who I always say to date is a divine connector. And he had reached out to me on LinkedIn, told me to have a meeting with him. He's one of the biggest sales and marketing directors that we have in the country. So when someone like that calls you, automatically you think they're poaching you. But when we had a meeting, we had a 2-hour conversation on me starting my own agency. And he talked to me about having a left and right hand. You've been doing consultancy on the side for a long time, and you're treating it like your left hand. Your left hand does not have the ability to write as much as your right hand. What if you give that effort to your left hand to become better? Will you be able to struggle in life? So that's when I thought I should be able to do my own consultancy. I prayed about it. I'm a very big believer, by the way. And the name Maynet came. And that's when, because I was operating as Gigi the brand. So I transitioned to Maynet. And I'm so happy and grateful because, my goodness, I came to a point where, because I had discussions with people who've been in the industry, and most of them were saying how business is bad. But God has just been faithful, and I've had I was just having a meeting with my, let's say in terms of retainer, the fourth client. So honestly, it's such a delight to see that you can actually start something and grow with it. Yeah.
That's why we say the God of Gigi, may you locate us.
Amen. May he locate
Yeah, may
you.
you locate us. All the business in Africa, I beg. We let God of Gigi shine upon us. All right, let's speak about the role of PR and marketing in MSME growth here. From your experience, how can MSMEs leverage PR and marketing to compete with larger businesses in the market?
I feel MSMEs, to start with, have the potential to grow, but the problem is it's just like a human being and how we operate. MSMEs really compare themselves with corporates. And let me just demystify what an MSME is. So MSME, there's the micro, there's the small, and there's the medium enterprises. So the micro are the ones with less than 10 employees. They have less than even 1 million in terms of annual revenue. And then there's the micro. The micro have about 10 to 50 employees, and they have about 5 million to around 40 million in terms of annual revenue. Then there is the micro small, oh, that's small, sorry. Then we have the medium enterprises. So the medium enterprises, which most people consider themselves MSMEs because they're like that, are those ones who have 50 to 150 employees. Yes, you had me right. Those ones who have 50 to 150 employees, and they have about 50 to 150 million in terms of annual revenue. Those ones fall within that category. Yet they're the majority in Kenya. In Kenya, we have 30, they're about 17 points, no, they are about 33.38% of MSMEs in Kenya. In terms of all companies, 33.38 are MSMEs. So if you look at that, you see MSMEs contribute largely to the economy of Kenya, yet they do not know their potential. MSMEs tend to compare themselves with large corporations and what they do, and they implement the same. But when you look at PR and marketing efforts that might help MSMEs to compare themselves with the large corporations, what stands out with MSMEs is that they have authenticity, they have the bit of community, and they have the bit of agility. What do I mean by this? When it comes to corporations, those ones who are known, the EABLs and the Safaricoms of Kenya, you find that in terms of even their systems, it's quite complicated. The protocol is more for you to be able to adapt to something, it's very hard. When you come to the MSMEs, if you look at their social media and they find maybe their customers don't like a certain thing, it's very easy for them to automatically revert everything, their strategy, to align with what the customers want. That's not the same with large corporations. Right now, what's working in globally, it's not about traditional media, it's about online digital media. So if you look at what the traditional media is having, it's more of awareness, which large corporations need. But the MSMEs need conversion because they're very interested in money. Of course, they don't have as much money, but they want to compare themselves and do billboards. So you end up spending so much money in things that you may not need, and you do not have conversion at the end of the day. So how can they be able to match up with the large corporations? One, take advantage of what stands out for you, agility. Look at the trends that are happening in the world and take advantage of it. If it's the TikTok videos, come up with them, come up with the skits. Go beyond. The large corporations will set up a billboard, you'll set up a TikTok ad, and ads on TikTok are less than 1,000 if you start with them. And with time, you're able to get the community. The large corporations are able to get the big the big audience, but they've not really targeted to their community. You have a storytelling aspect, which is authenticity. People believe that more. So going into press releases, going into features, and becoming a thought leader in your space, it's very easy for MSMEs to compete with large corporations by targeting those three: authenticity, community, and agility, and taking advantage of digital media as opposed to traditional media. And you don't have to do much in traditional media. You have to just work with your budget and run with it. And even if it's less than 100,000, I mean, looking at social media, you'll be able to achieve so much more with just even 50,000, as opposed to setting up a billboard and one will cost you 200,000 or thereabout, and you set up 10 and you don't have any other budget for the rest of the year.
Mm. Yo, eye openers right here. Eye openers. Now sometimes you even wonder, do you listen with your eyes or hear with your eyes? Because this is deep, deep information.
So listen with your eyes.
Yeah, yeah, there can be a lot of confusion. You're wondering, should I listen to the message? Should I look at the beauty? Should I look at what? Anyway, go for us solo. Okay, let's speak about overcoming MSME challenges. Yeah, what are some of the most common challenges MSMEs face when it comes to marketing and PR, and how does Maynet address this?
Okay. So I'd say that one of the major challenges for anyone in MSME is budgets. There's no budget. And the other one is access to market. So you've started a business, you don't know where to start. You don't know which markets to penetrate. So it's a gamble, honestly. And even when you're embracing those people that you're targeting, some go for corporations first before you. And also there's that bit of people do not know you. So why should they take your product in the first place? So number one, in terms of budget, our rates are very friendly. When I started MSME, when I started the PR and marketing agency targeted for MSME, one of the things that people in my industry told me is that the problem with working with MSMEs is that they do not have the money to pay. I understand that bit, but I've been in that seat as an MSME head of marketing. I understand the challenges that we went through. And I can tell you for sure, any person who's the head of marketing in any MSME will tell you that they create budgets when they see the value that you're able to give. So when I've told you I'm working with corporates already, I'm working with MSMEs and some corporates who don't care if you're just for MSME or corporates, we want to work with you. Why? Because one, it's my story that tells. Why did you create that business for yourself as an MSME entrepreneur? Understand the why. Once you communicate the why with a lot of consistency, and that's what we help CEOs. I've told you I train, I mentor, and I coach CEOs of MSMEs, because one of the things I've realized, CEOs are the ones who do marketing. And even if they have marketing people seated on that seat, they're the ones who will go, because it's your business. You're the one who will deal with the visibility. You're the one who will want to be out there to talk about your company. You get frustrated in the process because people do not take up your products, do not take up your services, and you don't know why. On your social media, you're basically talking every day about, can people just buy my product? Can people just buy my services? But you're not talking about the why. So we train heads of marketing, we train CEOs on the bit of storytelling. As I told you, what is big for MSMEs is authenticity. That will kill corporates for you if you want to penetrate. And if you talk, the more you talk about your story, the more people believe in you. There's more credibility in PR, especially when it comes to storytelling, as opposed to advertising and marketing. The second thing we train people, or how we solve MSMEs problem in terms of budgets, Our services are catered in terms of budgets to MSMEs. For me, I always say at the end of the day, it's about purpose. It's never about money. Money comes when you're able to do your purpose. And for me, my impact in life, I always want to see MSMEs succeeding and growing to become corporates. And that has always been my stand. So when I see an MSME struggling, I always sit down, even before I send out any proposal, I sit down with someone and I look at their pain points. What are they struggling with? Because it's from company to company. I cannot be able to give you a single template that I can tell you, company A, B, C, and D struggle with this. So when it comes to pain points, it's different from one company to another. Once I'm able to see the pain points, I create a budget suited for them. But I have to ask them, how much is your budget per year? Now, from that monthly budget or yearly budget, how much can you be able to slate for your PR and marketing efforts? The pain that most companies have is they know they need the PR and marketing, but they want spontaneous efforts, like I want by the next month, I should be able to get 100 leads. Now, PR and marketing is a curve. It's just like the marketing funnel. You have to engage, once you engage them, you convert them through a process. You have to make them aware of whatever is happening. And then once they are seeing, they start engaging with you, then they convert. And it's a whole process. It will not start tomorrow for you to get leads. But once you start, you're sure by the end of the year, you're able to see a return on investment. What MSMEs don't see is we need time to be able to implement this. So of course, there's that training. There's a lot of talks. I give them a lot of case studies of what has worked so that they're able to see. Once they're able to implement this, of course, access to market is no longer a challenge. We solve that by helping them not only be visible, but also be able to access the market they need. Yeah.
So what I'm getting is companies who are just starting without budgets and Gigi the brand, there are two parallel lines.
Sorry?
Meaning the companies that are just starting
Yes.
and they don't have a budget, because for you, your focus is on MSMEs. SMEs, does it mean they should up their game? Because without budget, you are not touching their brand at all. You should forget.
No, let me tell you, everyone has a budget. It's just that people do not set aside money for PR and marketing. But if you sit down with anyone, because MSMEs also talks about the micro, and the micro also talks about that person who's selling smokies on the road. That's also a small business. That's a micro business, not a small business. So you find that everyone has a budget, but they do not have a budget set aside for PR and marketing specifically. So they set aside budgets for supplies, they set aside budgets for meetings, they set aside budgets for transport, they set aside budgets for leads generation, but they do not set aside money for marketing. You'll find even some have social media, but they don't do anything after that. So you have to set aside budgets. If you sit down with anyone and you tell them, give me your day-to-day activities and what you do, you'll see they have budgets, but they didn't know that they have to set aside a budget for marketing. That's the problem. But so everyone has a budget. It's just that they don't know, they're not aware that they need, and they don't even know what to do with that. But we cater for everyone. Trust me, we have seen clients who can only afford 15,000 a month. We have seen clients who can only afford 20,000 a month. And that's okay, but at least we are starting somewhere. And within a month, you see someone saying, because we did this, let's increase to this. That's how we start. Yeah.
Yeah. It has been tough out here because people are saying nowadays no romance without finance, but it's fine. Anyway, moving on. Let's speak
Ooh.
about digital transformation for small business. How important is digital marketing for MSMEs, and what strategies would you recommend for those? Let's stick to people with limited budget.
People with limited budget.
Mm.
Say, what is limited budget, first of all? Because
I
everyone,
beg you, you know now, you know now, you know what is limited, but you know now, I beg. Why do you want to press us on our necks now?
oh my God, I'd say digital marketing is, I say digital marketing is indispensable for everyone, not just MSMEs, even corporates. Right now, you find all the corporations are out here on TikTok trying to make sense to everyone. So I'd say it's like a level playing field for everyone. But you have to be strategic because you have very minimal budget. You're also looking at doing the least, the best or the most with the least budget. So number one is if you look at TikTok, I've said TikTok, the least amount is 300 shillings. 300 shillings. So you can be
That
able to,
is $3,
yes, about
actually
three.
$2.
I think it's less than
$2.
$3 now that
Yeah, less than,
I
yes.
want
For our
to.
international community.
Mm.
Mm.
Yes, so you can be able to start with content marketing, which is very organic. You don't need anything because content is king at the end of the day. If you have great content, personally, I have not even done any social media ads, but I have gotten clients through content. So content marketing is key. If you're able to hack a good content, very good. You can be able to use Canva to create your designs. You can be able to use Mojo. I think there's so many free tools that you can be able to use to create designs, to create videos with them. You can be able to record with your phone. Like there are so many things that you can do when it comes to content marketing. Now, if you're running ads, you have to focus on social media. Social media is very good because at least Instagram, you can be able to get even run ads with 1,500 shillings, 15,000, no, 1,500 shillings, 1,500.
$15.
You have to convert about 15,
Yeah.
let's say $15 in terms of budget on social media. That's on Instagram. On Facebook, probably increasing to about $20 or thereabouts. So of course, there you've not spent 50,000, you see. So already you're getting, and that's why I say it for MSMEs, it's about the sense of community. TikTok, you'll be able to create ads that are related to the people you want to target. Same as Instagram, same as Facebook. LinkedIn is quite expensive. So if you're in the B2B sector, you'll have to incur quite a lot in terms of LinkedIn, but it doesn't surpass 15,000. It's about $150 to $200. So
Yes.
of course, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So
Because
of
I
course,
know some people you say 15,000, they'll hey Jesus, $15,000. They think you're killing them.
so imagine running ads and content marketing would help in terms of social media. Now, if you have a website, or if you don't, you can be able to create a free website. There are so many softwares or so many tools that can be able to help you create websites from scratch. There's Zoho. Zoho helps you create your free website for free. Then, so once you've been able to create your website, you can do SEO. You can have a Google business profile where you list your business, your address, your phone number, your website, so that people can be able to reach you. Once they search your business, they're able to see you there. There's also the Google Keyword Planner. So just seeing what are people searching when they come to your site. All these things are free. So you're able to get people easily without incurring anything. And then now you start building your email list. So you can have maybe on your website a place where people can be able to sign in for offers, for newsletters. I'm sure you've seen that in other websites. So that helps you create an email list where you can be able to send out, maybe if you need services from people, you can send out offers that you have for the month, discounts. So it's one way of also attracting people that's maybe helpful for you. One of the things that has also come up is the bit of influencer marketing very strongly from 2020, actually from 2020 because of COVID. So don't compare yourself with large corporations who are taking influencers that are on the budgets of, now let me convert the dollars. 1 million shillings is equal to
10,000 USD.
yes, or the big influencers, whom we call the mega influencers, might not be very key for you in terms of conversion. They're very good with awareness. I equate them to traditional media, but if you want conversion, micro influencers are very good. Micro influencers have about 5,000 followers to around 30,000, some even 50,000. They have very affordable prices, and you're able to get their community because they're trusted with their audience. So if they say, guys, I've been able to see this, people trust that it's very authentic. So they go with what they say, and conversion is higher with them. So if you're looking for the influencer marketing space, you can also target the micro influencers, which have really helped in that space. I think it's also about looking at, can you be able to come up with webinars, Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, and partner with people in your industry who are known. So that's where now you get credibility from industry players. You also get credibility from people who need your services or products because you partnered with people who are known in your industry. There's also, I think there's so many things that you can look at. I'm just thinking through everything, but there's also the pay-per-click advertising. You can put a cap into how much expenditure that you can be able to use and come up with campaigns. But the most important thing I'd say, when you're doing all these things, look at it as a long-term value. Don't look at it as short-term and I need leads tomorrow. I'd say, and I'd advise people to have campaign-based in terms of monthly or quarterly. So if you have maybe, let's say, a leather bag, so the campaign for the month can be to push, I don't know, they call the leather bags by names. So let's say it's to push the grace bag. This month or this quarter, we are pushing the grace bag. So everything has to be geared towards pushing the grace bag, because if we push all bags, then the effort will not be okay. Like it will be less in each of them and not have a lot of impact. So you do the same you push the leather bag, that same leather bag on website, on social media. Of course, there are other posts on other bags, but this is the one that creates or gets the most attention for that quarter. The same happens every month, every quarter. You'll start seeing results. And if you start with that bag, because the problem is you can do a lot of activities and not see ROI. But if you do campaign-based, you'll be able to see truly, before the month started, we were not selling this bag. The month has ended, we've done this number of activities, and these are the results. So if you're able to do campaign-based and then attribute the digital, check the ROI at the end of the day, now you'll start seeing results. Yeah.
Wow. I think this podcast will put it as a masterclass, because the words being mentioned here, you have to pay to be inside and get this information. It's not gonna be easy for people to access this episode.
Yeah, you say MSME. If you're keen on PR and marketing, click here, pay this number.
Masterclass. $15,000 per 1 minute of this masterclass.
Please.
Please check out PayPal. Anyway, I have a question. I have a question on the SEO and ads. So I know for SMEs or MSMEs, they might want a quick ROI for whatever amount they're spending on their marketing budgets and stuff. So would you
Yeah.
advise for an SME to begin with SEO marketing first just to, get that traffic, or go straight on to Facebook ads, Instagram ads, or whatever?
Mm-hmm. I'd say first you have to study your audience. There are MSMEs who don't even have a website to start with. So you have, before even you start a campaign, you have to check where is the traffic coming from mostly. Is it from social media? Is it from our website? Is it from which efforts have you been having? And what have the results been? So I always say start with what is working first and put more effort in it because it's working and you've not just put budget in it. So if it's social media that has been working, put more money in it and see. Then now slowly transition to SEO if the website wasn't working and check the results. But before a campaign starts, check everything, see the traffic, see the engagement in terms of the leads, where they're coming from mostly. By the end of the campaign, check the results. You probably deployed 10,000 in social media budget. What has it given you? You probably paid 50,000 for your website. What has it given you? If there are no results in SEO, but there were results on social media, cut SEO, focus on social media, look for other strategies. I always say, if something is not working, do not put money in it and expect results. Do not put more money in it and expect results. I'll give you an example. There was a time that we were trying to push for people to take up, how do I say, asset financing. And we did social media ads. And the first ads on Facebook and Instagram, we did 5,000 in each. And then we also talked to one of the media sites in Kenya, which has a social media platform, and we paid around 30,000 to have our ad there. We got so many leads from that company, that media site, and we got very few leads on Instagram and Facebook. So we thought Facebook and Instagram doesn't give us much value. What we didn't do, because there's a marketing funnel, you start by awareness, then you engage them, then you convert them. We had just done awareness, gotten so many leads from the media sites, very few leads from our social media. And remember also the budget was very low. So when it came to the leads on the media side, we had about 2% in terms of conversion, whereas in Facebook and Instagram, our audience converted close to 47%. Now, what does that tell you? You cannot be able to deploy finances into something and look at awareness leads and say, this works. You have to finish the marketing funnel and know this works in terms of leads conversion. This doesn't work. So for us, we realized that when it comes to the media side, it's very good for awareness, but not for conversion. So we didn't spend more money in the media side. We deployed more money on Facebook and Instagram to a point where I think in 2 weeks we were spending 50,000 because it was working in terms of leads conversion. So what is most important for you as an MSME is understanding what works right now, and then now pouring money into it. If it's not working in terms of leads conversion, not awareness, conversion, because you're not in the phase of awareness. Awareness is for corporations. For MSMEs, it's about conversion. It's what gives you money. So after conversion, if you're able to see results, great. So pour money into that, look at more strategies. But at the end of the day, it's also listening to your customers and revising your strategies to fit your customers. Yeah.
Okay, for those ones who, we've mentioned numbers. For those ones who've had 50,000, we're not saying 50,000 euros, pounds. That's 50,000 Kenya shillings. That's like $500, 500 euros. So don't get depressed because you might think you need 50,000 USD to get your marketing or traffic for your business. So calm down. You are safe.
Yes.
You are safe in our hands. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's speak about demystifying PR and marketing. Many small businesses equate PR and marketing to bulk SMSs or occasional social media posts. How do you guide them to think more strategically?
Mm-hmm. I'd
Mm.
say it's not wrong because that's something that I always say many MSMEs don't know. So they focus on bulk SMS, email marketing, social media marketing. They're not wrong, but they're just too spontaneous. They're not focusing on a well-rounded approach. So I'd say for me, I always talk to founders and CEOs, heads of marketing, and I tell them, number one, because a shift in a mindset like that requires a lot of education, a lot of, like, you have to make them see the value because they see it's cheap, it's something that they can be able to do easily. And why should they do more? Why should they deploy a budget? Why should they be able to do anything more? So one of the things I always say is start with your big picture. Yes, there's the bulk SMS. I'll receive an SMS today. Will I remember you tomorrow? Yes, I'll see you on social media. What makes me want to be there? There are so many things that people don't understand when it comes to even creating content on socials. One, you create, most people, if you look at their social media, it's just checking boxes. You are creating, or probably their team is creating content just to check boxes. Oh, it's Monday, we've created a post. But if you look at the post, there's no thought in it. So start with your why. I always say that. Start with your why because authenticity is what will make you get it right. Start with your big picture. What's your why? And then communicate it either through your logo, either through your tagline. It's okay to morph it. You know, there are people who started businesses and they were like, I think I like color blue. I like color red. Let's create something out of it. But there's nothing about it. So everything that goes into everything that you do has to make sense to your big picture. If your impact is, I have a client who's in ERP and he's very big on creating a process for schools. And he's doing major in terms of the kind of schools he's targeting internationally, locally. And I looked at their social media, I was shocked. I couldn't see, like when you sit down with someone and you see what they are churning out, doesn't make sense. So it has to align. Pay more attention in what goes out. Does it address the impact that you're creating, or is it just a checkbox? Then, as I said, bulk SMS and email marketing and social media marketing on the go. Social media marketing is not bad, but on the go, just to check a box, it's not making sense. So I always talk to people and tell them spontaneity will never help you. It has to be strategic. So what I was talking about, campaign-based approach, you'll deploy those bulk SMS, email, and all those things, but can you work with a campaign and say, yes, let's say about my ERP client. My ERP client is very big on getting these schools to sign up. So if we say our focus right now is not just on creating new clients or new leads, it's to service those ones that are already there. So in this case, it's a marketing campaign focused on the already running clients. And in the process, we want them to cross-sell, and we want to upsell. So we want to give them more service, and we want to also give them a different service. So in this process, we are going to deploy bulk SMS still. We're going to deploy email marketing. We are going to deploy all those things that you've been doing, but we are also going to increase. We are going to do SEO. We are also going to do visits. We are also going to do videos, testimonials. We are going to do press releases with them. We're going to channel. Like, it has to be a wholesome kind of approach, not just one. So it's not just about spontaneity and on the go, it's about strategy. How can we be able to come up with more? And the other bit that I also always say is about consistency. If you see the algorithm on Instagram, if you change your post to be 5 in a week and you are doing one, for a period of 3 weeks, you'll not have leads or awareness. You know that. Like, if you've been doing a number of posts in a week, you change drastically. Like tomorrow, probably I've been doing 2 posts a week. Tomorrow I start 5. For some time, people will not be able to see your posts on their timeline. So even your engagement will be low. Now imagine that is what is happening to most organizations every week. Because this week they say, I will post once. Next week we'll post thrice. The next week we'll post 5 times. You're not getting your clients because you're not consistent. If you said this quarter we are going to post this number of times, stick to that and then start seeing results. That way you're able to see instantaneous results in as much as you want instantaneous, but you've been able to do it in a period of time. And the other bit I always say, PR brings credibility. Always. So because MSMEs look at corporations on newspapers, on TV, on radio, and they're like, they have the budget for that. PR doesn't even require that much of a budget. And it helps you to become a thought leader in the process. So having that media coverage, and you see, when you talk to CEOs, founders, heads of marketing and PR, they tell you, we don't have anything to report on. And I tell them, tell me what you do. And I write notes and I'm wondering, did you see this? Because I've worked with a company before where they struggled with PR. People even pay millions, hundreds of thousands for people to do things for them. But they can actually do it for themselves. And that's why I train people to do it for themselves. Because you seated on that chair can be able to see something that is happening. Let me give an example. At Gigi, one of the things that was happening was we had an issue with property. Property category didn't have clients. And the issue was fraud. And one of the things that we did was, it was already there. There was an AI to track frauds, but people did not know about it. It had been existing for like 2-3 years. We created a whole press release on it because I felt property category does not have clients. It's a sales issue. It's not my issue as PR, but I can be able to support by releasing a press release. Already, people were coming to us saying, oh, you've solved the issue just by reading that press release. It already existed, but they did not know. So it's always looking at those gaps that you have and looking for things that make sense. And in everything you do, always have data in mind before and after creating a campaign. What is the before and what is the after results? Yeah.
Yeah. This one, someone has to listen it 2 times, 3 times. Otherwise, the information will be passing by 2 times or 3 times so that you merge that content inside your heads. Anyway, let's speak about success stories. Can you share some memorable success stories where Maynet helped transform an MSME brand visibility to, or even grow its trajectory?
So I told you Maynet, the name came recently, but I've worked with brands before. And one of the brands that I trained was Abojani. I'd say Abojani was really struggling because of they were doing amazing. They still do amazing things in terms of finance, but they didn't know how to get their name out there to bigger brands, and they didn't know how to be able to consistently, because they were relying on the CEO's networks. So they didn't know how to stand on their own as a company. So I did a whole day training where I talked to them about creating strategy, demystifying PR and marketing, how to go about it. And we created a whole roadmap for the whole year together. And nowadays, they are very self-sufficient. After the training, I remember the CEO had called me and asked if we can be able to continue so that I can guide them, see what they're doing every month, after every 3 months. But we didn't even do it. And nowadays, I see them doing things. I see them going over and beyond, taking advantage of the online space, partnering with companies, and they've been able to grow. I'd say the other company I'm very proud of, still in the process, but I'd say Evergreen Square. I think we deployed all kinds of strategies for them. When we met Evergreen Square, the event was starting in a week, and they wanted PR and marketing efforts. And I remember they had a billboard. They had already created a billboard. They didn't know where the audience will come from. They thought the billboard should give them clients. That's the only thing they had done in terms of marketing. They didn't even have a social media. So they had the Evergreen Square social media, which wasn't really doing well. And so we created an event themed state of the craft event, and we pushed the state of the craft event. Remember, we only had 1 week to make sure that everything was solid. So we deployed micro influencers. We did a Twitter trend. We were able to come up with not MCs, DJs that were known so that they can spread the word. We did an ad. So in the rush, we were able to create so many social media sites, but Instagram was the one that we were pushing most. So we did social media ads, and in a span of 1 week, let me tell you, the ground was, I remember even vendors from Kepsa were calling us last minute, telling us they want to be part of it. We were getting, the audience was so much. The chairs that we had were less. We had to put those grass, I don't know how they're called, those grass cubicles, the cubes that are made of grass so that people can sit. They didn't have seats. It was so full. Man, it was so full. And even when the event was happening, on social media, we had people asking, can we still come? And it was at night. The event was starting at 2 p.m. So that was a major success, to a point where the client said we'll have these events every month. Initially, it was to create awareness of Evergreen Square, but in the process, we had people who even asked Evergreen Square if they can be able to be in the business premise, because they hadn't even known about Evergreen Square. So they wanted to be not vendors, they wanted to rent their space. So of course, that shows the level of issues that CEOs have in terms of understanding PR and marketing impact. They still look at traditional media and how we were able to make them see the value of social media. Yeah. So I think those are the ones that I can highlight.
All right. Now I've seen what you're talking about, the global scale. Finally, I've seen it. Do you still want us to talk about it? I've seen it now.
We will brush through it because it's not, I don't think I'm the only one who's supposed to talk about it. Yeah.
I trust you now. I know you're strong. I know you're sharp. Okay, let's go. You believe in SMEs as the backbone of Kenya's economy. Yeah. What
Yeah.
steps will be taken to maximize their potential on a global scale?
Ooh. I told you that MSMEs contribute like to almost half of the GDP of Kenya's economy, at least. I don't know about other countries, but I believe MSMEs are like the backbone. And I believe that for them to get to the global scale, it has to be a multifaceted approach. It's not a PR and marketing thing only, because yes, there are MSMEs who struggle with access to market, but probably their market is globally, and there are so many taxes deployed that they are not able to afford. So you find even some being able to relocate just to service their businesses. There's the digital transformation where we have e-commerce, we have um, we have we have the online bit. Most companies right now even do not operate from an office. They operate virtually. And of course, I'd say, first of all, as an MSME, when you're starting your business, why are you starting that business and for who? So if you understand your target audience better, you have to deploy resources that are able to help this target audience. So if it's a delivery, if it's product based, they need faster delivery. Would you be able to partner with e-commerce companies? Would you be able to partner with logistics companies? You cannot do this alone. So there's also the bit of, are you digitally literate in your space? And there's also the capacity building. You've come into that space, you don't understand how it works. You have to create some time for you to also learn about how it works. I met a client in Nanyuki, and she has about 16 acres of land. Her background is in sales and marketing, but she's now a professional farmer. I was asking her how she started, and she said, anytime you want to start a business, watch a lot of YouTubes. She normally transports her herbs, because she focuses on herbs, to Netherlands, UK, and I've forgotten the other one. But she does that on wholesale and sells to wholesalers. Wholesalers in those countries are the people who sell to the supermarkets in Netherlands, in the UK. I mean, this is someone who's been in business for 4 years. For them to have been able to be like that, and she was even telling me her land is small. She wants to expand. 16 acres. So if you look at that, and she's in MSMEs as well, there's a lot of people want to be fed information. They don't want to read. They don't want to watch. For her, she put in the time to be able to understand, because farming in Kenya is not lucrative. It's not lucrative as I saw what she's doing. When I saw what she was doing, I was like, even me, I want to become a farmer. Is also access to finance. If you read newspapers right now, many MSMEs are closing down. Why? Because right now, even when you go to banks, they're not giving loans to MSMEs. I think it's last year in November where KCB and there was something that they had created, an initiative targeted for MSMEs to deploy resources and even grant them loans. MSMEs don't know that they can be able to get grants. They do not know they can be able to get financing in terms of investors. So that bit on access to finance, I don't know if I should blame the MSMEs for not finding out, but in terms of granting loans, creating space for them to get the grants, especially our country, is it conducive for business, for investors to be able to invest in our MSMEs? That's the first thing. And our banks, can they open up and be able to give the MSMEs money when they need this? So I feel like sometimes it's a joint effort. I wouldn't say it's one person. As PR and marketers, we have a part to play, because we need to offer them services in a more reasonable and affordable way, as opposed to charging them seven-figure or six-figure in terms of other countries' currencies, and you expect them to have that money. Whereas I've told you, an MSME, some of them even do not have 1 million shillings in terms of annual revenue. I'm talking about shillings, not even dollars. And you're charging them seven-figure. So I think it's very important for us we can work together as all industry players and join forces to see how best we can be able to support MSMEs. Yeah.
Yeah, there's still hope. There's
Yeah.
still hope. Yeah. So let's speak about empowering entrepreneurship through training and coaching. It's a good thing you told me you already have 3 mentees on board. And I believe in your book is gonna bring more mentees. So how do your mentorship and training programs equip business leaders and aspiring marketers to create a lasting impact?
Okay. So I have two types of mentorship. I have the mentorship for self-starters, stroke career switchers, stroke people who are starting. No, student self-starters and career switchers. That's one type of mentorship. And then there is the training, mentorship, and coaching for CEOs, founders, heads of marketing, and PR. That's a different one. So when it comes to the self-starters, students, and career switchers, I teach them on confidence, change management. Basically, it's just looking at, we have 4 facets that I look at when it comes to them. So for them, it's about being able to trust themselves to do what they think they can, and being able to teach them elements or basics of PR and marketing, seeing if that's what they want. Because most of the mentees, you start with them and they're like, I don't think I want to do this, especially career switchers and students. I focus mostly on 4th year because they already know what they want and they are getting into that space. So of course, helping them understand what to expect in the world of PR and marketing. What you're taught in school versus what you apply are very different. And I'm very big on this because I started there. I didn't know. I came from campus. I was a great performer in campus. But getting into the career world, it's not the same. We've been reading theory. So when it comes to the practical aspect, even if we did the practicals in school, it's very different. You're told, come up with a press release, you don't know where to start. So I walk the journey with them, even past mentorship, to help them understand how to go about it. For CEOs, for founders, for heads of marketing and PR, it's that one is where I even find myself understanding things that I didn't know. It's very customized based on their pain points. One of the things I've realized is that in as much as CEOs and founders will employ heads of marketing, they want to be the face, they want to be visible, they want to, because it's a small company and they feel like we started this. So of course, I teach CEOs and founders how to just delegate. It's a hard one, but I teach them to delegate and give that task to someone else, because as a CEO, your work is getting business. It's not doing marketing. Let someone else handle. We also look at trial and error and how to approach it, because there's no template that I'll give you for PR and marketing that I'll tell you, if you do this, it will work. It's always about trying and being agile. Understanding your customer dictates what they want. So being able to keep revising your strategy, keep understanding your customers, always checking what they want, seeing how best to adapt to them. And of course, now also we talk about the modern marketing trends and PR. We teach them where to get these trends, because it's one thing if I sit down with you, teach you today, tomorrow something else has come up. Will you be able to know, or will you call grace? So I teach them how to fish and not expect me to fish for them every time. And of course, it's also about practicality. As I told you with Abojani, we sat down and we talked about a roadmap. So it's the same even when we come to the mentorship, we have to come up with a roadmap. There are those, like the ERP company I've told you, I had to sit in the board because it became something they can't handle by themselves. And for their company, they were not able to afford a head of marketing. They had a junior marketing. So I create a roadmap for them and they run with it. Every quarter we sit down and we look at it. So it's very different from person to person. And your financial muscle. Probably you can't afford a PR and marketing agency, but you can be able to afford a junior marketing executive that can be trained. So it's one way of looking at it and solving a need. Yeah, basically that. But the most important thing is focusing on you as maybe the head of marketing or you as the CEO. What is your impact? What's the impact that you want to leave with the legacy? Because you can be an employee and still leave a legacy. You can be the owner of the company and continue a legacy and it will outlive you. So from one company to another, it's all dependent. I don't train all CEOs in one class. I train company to company. For mentees in the self-starter students package, I can train them as a whole, but they have to be either career switchers, they have to either be students, or they have to be either self-starters, not the three categories mixed. Yeah.
Wow. Masterclass incoming. They will understand. So finally, as you finish, yeah, what's your
Yeah.
advice? That key advice that you should give to entrepreneurs looking to build strong brands to maximize their limited resources?
Oh, I'd say number one, my key is always work hard, pray hard, and play hard, but I'm joking. Anyway, running an MSME is 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 I don't even have a word. I'm trying to even create a word because you can be the brain, the hands, the mouth. Everyone requires you to get a salary for them. Everyone expects you to have the strategy. Everyone expects you to have everything. So be still. I think the first thing I'd say is embrace the digital side. Just embrace the digital side. Prioritize authenticity. Do not compare yourself with large corporations, and always incorporate customer-centric strategies. If your customers are talking about this, don't be too hard-headed and say you are the owner of the company and you know why you started. No, morph it. The customers need it. Let's go with that. Always stay agile, adapt to whatever is happening. If you hear this, be the first to go with that. Fail fast, but fail forward. I always say that. Fail fast because it's like a child. Will a child stop wanting to walk because they have fallen so many times? No. But the more you fail, the more you understand. And when it comes to PR and marketing, there is no template that works. I'd say that this is your Bible. No. For PR and marketing is about trying, failing, understanding, and growing. That's what I can say.
Wow. Wow. We shared an audience so that we can clap. This is how you tell them, oh yeah, now it's your time to clap. Wow. This has been amazing. I think even me, I was talking about other people watching this twice. It's me who will be watching it twice, even thrice. But it's a good thing because we usually think these are things as a CEO, since you don't have budget, you just do it for yourself and expect the ROI to be high, you know? But now, since you have emphasized something that we have to outsource so that can pull out of the brand, and then now we let the professionals do their part. It's a really good thing. You've made it out clear. I was those people who was not understanding. What do you mean? Me, I just post them and I forget and I move on, you know? And I wonder next, hey, this Instagram, nothing do for me, nothing, zero. You know, Facebook post, forgets. But now, you know, you made it clear that we need to be there and just bring the professionals, you know, hire the professionals on a monthly basis to make it work. So you see, we can learn a lot from you. Uh, Me, the host, myself, I'm even taking notes. I'm wondering, I thought I'm only going to ask questions. Now I have to write down notes. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So as we said, I hope you're also going to bring your co-authors. Maybe you can just mention where can people find you, and also where can people find the book.
Mhm. Okay. Hey, I have to give you the link to the book. I don't remember the link of in my mind. But you can find me on LinkedIn, Grace Gikonyo, brackets Gigi the brand. You can be able to get me on Facebook, Grace Gikonyo, in brackets Macy. That's also another name that I've been called in one of the agencies. You can find me on Instagram, Gigi _the brand. So Gigi the brand in between underscores. And I think that's it. Yeah, so for Maynet, you can be able to check our website, maynetpr.com. You can also access our Instagram, Maynet PR and Marketing. You can also access our LinkedIn, Maynet PR and Marketing. Yeah.
Mm. Okay, sharp, sharp. Thank you so much. Even before I go, let me shout out these sponsors again. I know in this podcast you've mentioned so many companies like the Zohos, the Canvas. I think I'll send them this episode so that they can include their budget on youth mentors. We're not giving them free promotions. Yeah. Yeah. So big shout out to Rico Amor again, best plant-based yogurt um, I've been taking so far. For those who are lactose intolerant, Rico Amor got you. No need to go to the washroom again because of tummy irritations. Now you have a plant-based yogurt option for you, for the vegan and the vegetarians. Rico Amor is a plug. Also, Allo.co, follow their fashion brand for the ladies. 14th is here. It's time for heartbreaks. It's time for to know your real man if the bank account is strong. Alo is here to prove them wrong. So go check out their website. I believe you'll find the best wedding outfits, cocktail dresses, their evening dresses. Um, there's one I saw. It's called um, I think it's called midi dresses. I don't know. It was really, really amazing. So go check them out and you'll find yourself best plugs. Anyway, without further ado, thank you so much. Go support Rofina School through charity. Believe giving is receiving. Go buy them books. Go buy them, pay for their school fees. Take food to them if you're in Kenya, and God will bless you. Thank you so much. Gigi the brand. Thank you so much for pouring out. We are having another podcast for the one you said. You say which baby?
Which one?
Oops.
Which one?
The oops baby. We're gonna have a podcast just to discuss that because that's very new to me, and I believe people will learn from it as well. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good one, guys. Bye bye. Ciao ciao.
Bye.